come out with what they're actually picking right now. Hydration in the sky, short for on the Sombra. Very versatile player, rocks a lot of different things. Sombra being one of his specialties. And see how the Shock plan to counteract it.
Hydration, a beast Farah as well. So it's looking like right now San Francisco Shock are going to be going for a bit of the tried and true. One of the more popular strategies that we have seen with a couple of alterations. It is worth noting Moira in play on Sleepy. We will have Sinatra on the Sombra as well. And now they realize, as the rockets come raining in, okay, this is what we're going to have to deal with here. The Far Mercy has taken over the skies.
The Moira can do a good job at putting some pressure onto the Farah in the sky at least. Moira's also good if you hear a Sombra decloak to just spin in a circle, do a little bit of damage to her so before she can get a hack off. It's an ability that's kind of a lock-on beam, so there's a lot of reasons to run a Moira against this composition.
Nice attempt there from Hydration, trying to get the boom to knock some of those guys off into the watery depths below, but it will be the San Francisco Shock getting first control of the point. Onus is on Gladiators now to dislodge them. Keep an eye on the positioning here. It can be a little bit tricky for Hydration. Hydration, in fact, dropping dangerously low.
Void very low as well, but they're getting all the support they need while they continue to do some damage. Hydration in a little bit of trouble now, ends up shooting. Sinatra going to charge up his Zarya energy beam there too. Shortforce got EMP ready already.
Ooh, nice try with the lead on the Rockets. Doesn't quite get it though. And in the meantime, Smurf has splattered Shaz. Man advantage now for the Shock going into it. Sleepy has already got the Lighthouse online.
There's the hack that comes out, so Sleepy unable to escape. Hack into Barrage, a great combination when you're running this kind of composition. One kill only onto San Francisco though, and they've equalized. Gladiators have been doing a ton of damage, but have nothing to show for it.
This is the thing with Sinatra right now. When you're a Sinatra, well, when you're a Sinatra, I mean, that works too, but when you're a Zarya, you know, you see a Far, you're like, great, recharge all the time for my bubbles. I'm just gonna be doing so much damage now. We're seeing that Sinatra's just melting him. Grab gets thrown out, and he's charging it right back up again. We've got the rally thrown in by Architect as well, fighting on this point. But at some point, the Los Angeles Gladiators are actually going to have to try and get a foothold going here. Bit tough for him now as Justice rains from above. Hydration going to get eliminated, though. Sinatra finding the kill there.
It is all San Francisco. A couple ults come out, clean up the rest of it. We're going to be nearing 75% here, which means one fight away for the San Francisco Shock. The Los Angeles Gladiators used all the abilities they had available in the last fight to no avail. And now next fight, perhaps see an EMP and just hope for the best.
Wholesale changes now on the Gladiator side as well. They've gotten rid of the Farah. She's back in the hangar. They brought in Hydration on the Brigida. And we've got Roar on the Reinhardt as well. So moving on to the point now, Los Angeles Gladiators are going to have to touch. They have to get a body on there. Cutting it pretty close. 99% for San Francisco Shock, and now it's all about the Gladiators winning this fight. They have to get the job done here if they want to keep it alive. There's the grab thrown out. 2 quick kills coming through for the Shock, and the Gladiators right now just looking a bit stunned.
And the timing just not there for them as the Gladiators continue to get mopped up on the point. The EMP comes in late. EMP Shatter combination works out. Big Goose is going to collect Sinatra's debt for him too. Still though, using all of these ults, and it seems like they haven't gotten more than 1 kill at a time this map.
They can't seem to quite chain it together, but that is going to be it. First point picked up for the San Francisco Shock. Looking very solid, maintaining the level that we saw already previously from them in the opening of these leagues.
He got pressured a little bit on the Sombra. He was about 80%.
But got to give a shout out real quick to these fantastic monitors made specifically for the league by HP. They'll be soon available for the fans. Oh, sick. And Moth is using one of those split keyboards too. Oh, yeah, I like that. But yes, it's the HP monitors. Pay attention to the monitors. Keyboards later.
I mean, the keyboard's useless if you don't have any monitor.
I really like those keyboards.
I played on those the other night. They're 240 hertz, which is ridiculous.
Oh,
it's buttery smooth. Like, you think you upgrade.
Too.
Yeah, you upgrade from 60 hertz to 144. You're like, this is amazing. And then you go to 240. You're like, I don't even want to play at 140 anymore.
Yeah, right. That is the thing. That is the greatest source of rage when you update things and all of a sudden it puts your
can't go back
60 hertz and you're just like, what is the matter with this?
You can't go back on computer hardware. Once you go up, there's no going backwards. All right, we've got a Hammond on the field. That is Johoven there trying to get a big slam. Does connect into the back line. And he used his ability to get himself shielded up, but the first kill comes to Shaz.
That was a beastly slam. Working on getting that minefield up and running, but yep, Sinatra is out of the fight already for San Francisco Shock. That's going to be frustrating, seeing as how you want that Zarya pumping damage in. And it will be Los Angeles Gladiators picking up control first here. So now it's about San Francisco Shock finding a way in. Sinatra not really going to be winning the duel here as far as grabs are concerned either. Surefour already up at 50% on his grab. Not going to take him long. getting that charge up as well, and right now just backing off, giving ground, hoping the San Francisco Shock will overextend, and sure enough, Choyobin is out, but then 2 kills, right back at it for the Shock.
Last second contest as they get onto the point, but Smurf is going to shatter, gets himself 1 on the ground, 1 into the wall. There goes Hydration. Fight's not over yet. However, Gladiators are still in control.
Yep, still touching the point. Oh, it will get flipped. Just a moment. That's all the Shock needed. Now they're the ones getting the percentage going. Gladiators stopped at 31%. So Gladiators now, time for them to regroup. They have a couple of important ults online now. Sound Barrier from Big Goose and the Grav from Surefour. Void isn't too far off from the self-destruct, so we could get that Grav into self-destruct combo going here in a moment.
Where they want to drop it here. The rally does come out. Everyone all armored, healthy, and moving forward. The Los Angeles Gladiators are going to use that as an initiation to push forward.
Oh, the Angry Bees, man. Just grabs all over the place. Let's go. Surefour not quite finding the best angle, trying to avoid getting sucked into the grab himself. And this is, well, we already have the sound barriers getting thrown out here from the Gladiators. That's going to be enough to remove Choyobin from the fight. Shock looking to try and trade it back as quickly as possible, but the Gladiators are staying pretty healthy. They're staying fit, and that Transcendence from Shaz is going to help do that as well.
They were able to use their support ultimates later than the San Francisco Shock and allow them to sustain through. Meanwhile, while Sleepy had to use it in that early grab, Shaz wasn't even near his Transcendence, got it towards the end of the fight. So having those support ultimates available later in the fight is what ended up winning that one for the Glads.
Be sure to check out, if you like these overview maps like this, the All Access Pass is available on Twitch. Be sure to pick one up. You get the player perspectives as well as the overhead map. Overhead map gives so much information, but right now the info is that the Shock are kind of stuck in spawn. Gladiators taking an aggressive position right now, wanting to make the Shock work for it.
You see Shaz just pre-firing volleys. Sometimes you find something, you get a bit of damage done, and get that ultimate up just a little bit quicker. Gladiators also have Roar's Shatter, and he had some struggles with it the other day. It's nice to see him connecting early on.
Yeah, Shock is now in Smurf. He's looking for that angle. He's looking to see if he can get the shatter off, but the grab is already thrown in here, and Void pounces Sinatra out of the fight yet again. The first to go down here for the Shock. That's not going to help things. Gladiators are up to 80% and counting now on the points. Looking highly likely to be picking it up here if the Shock can't come up with something.
Sinatra has not been as big of a factor this game, but before the end of this stage, he should be able to get to himself to a Graviton. They're going to have enough sustain ultimates to get in there. You might just initiate with Transcendence here.
96, got to touch the point, get somebody on there. Choyobin's going to be able to get in there on the Diva. No longer hamster, no longer rolling around. Do not want to leave the point unattended though, and so it is going to be the fight here. The Shatter gets traded right into the shield, followed up as well, but not connecting with the Zenyatta. The Transcendence will go off, but Choyobin will find the kill on Hydration. Both Brigidas out of the fight, 5-on-5, and there's the grab. No follow-up possible though by the looks of things, although as I say that, somehow they find the kill on Roar, and that opens it all up.
It's very late follow-up because the self-destruct was in this guy. The Reinhardt had to turn his shield. He'd rather be fire striking and swinging the hammer. Does get those abilities in there late, and they clean up. The Shock, it costs them all of their ultimate abilities, though. So on paper, the Gladiators are poised to retain this one. Moth and Choyobin with their ultimates up on the San Francisco Shock side.
Yeah, we have both of the sound barriers pretty much, but Surefour's going to have that grab for this next fight. That's going to be the big one. Choyobin would be the hero if he could get the D-Matrix in and eat it, but Surefour, he's too wily, man. He's too much of a clever player to get that to let that happen.
It's just the mind games now. Can you get this ability in? Can you not get it in? Neither team really wanting to commit. Both trying to play a reactionary style.
Yeah, rally in, and the Gladiators are the ones to pull the trigger. They're going to be moving in. There's the Shatter onto the rally. Hydration in. Self-destruct on the wrong side. Trying to get clever, and it's not going to work for Choyobin. Sound barriers are getting thrown in, and a lot of damage getting poured in here from the Gladiators. San Francisco Shock so far hanging in there, though. Both Transcendences being used by the Zenyatas, getting that AoE healing out. Now who's going to crack first? Who's going to slip up? And it looks like Smurf got cut off from the rest of his team. And Shaz will find the kill on Architect as well.
Shaz kicking the Lucio out of his face. They've got 2 kills, now just looking for the cleanup. It's just stall time here, and I do believe we're going to a decisive stage 3 on Ilios.
It has to be the case. The overtime is done, and that is going to be it. Tied up, 1-1. Gladiators going to bring it back. Only so fitting, always.
Very even match, 20 kills to 17 in favor of the Shock so far, but kills don't get you points, and now we're going to my favorite stage in all of Ilios. All that action happens on the point. sometimes even below the point, right into the hole.
Right into the hole, seeing how deep it goes. The murder hole.
Gladiators look pretty relaxed. It's a little bit raucous in here now. Not the player, the people.
Los Angeles Gladiators, man, that's what you hope. Get that cheering squad going, get that hype. Team needs it right now. They managed to stay alive on this first map of the series. Now it's about closing it out. So, Gladiators, let's see. Once again, trading up, just dancing around each other now. But we will have a change of strategy. I like to see this from Architect. The McCree, we've seen it be effective here on this point in particular. So we will have that McCree in play on Architect's side, as well as Smurf on the Orisa. And it's looking like the Gladiators are not going to waste any time in dying, that is. Hydration gets pummeled to death.
That's what Sinatra gives you, is his versatility. Of course, brought up as a damaged player, but can play the Brigida. Played some Reinhardt in the World Cup, plays everything. Smurf gonna take down Big Goose, but it's Architect banning that hammer, emptying the clip into people. That's first capture, which is really important for McCree. You want to be able to play reactionary defensive positioning with McCree rather than trying to take a point. See the shields up here. I mean, shields need to be up for the Gladiators, quite literally in game, otherwise you're gonna get domed.
Well, I mean, he's got his horse in the shape of Orisa there. I really wish that McCree could just hop on her back.
It really should be her ultimate.
That angry steed into battle. But he's always hanging out with the Orisa because he's using that shield to stay safe. Now, well, Shock take a bit of a peek. See if there's any changes in strategy here from the Gladiators. That's not going to be the case. Gladiators sticking to their guns. So now you see Architect just going to take shots at anybody who shows themselves here.
Just gonna roll away from that Winston. You know you're always going to get dove on as a McCree. That's why you've got Flashbang to stun out enemies who try to get in on you. You really just want space. McCree's best friend is distance between him and his opponents.
Positioning is so important, but now jumping straight in, taking some risks here. Roar. You're always at risk of getting flashbangs, and McCree, but Sherfor is going to be able to get in there. There's the flank, and they get run over. San Francisco Shock, just like that, will cave to the offense. The Gladiators really taking the fight to them.
It'll be interesting to see if they could Shock want to switch up their compositions, but now you're in that weird phase where you've got ultimates up. It is Architect who's going to switch onto the Zarya instead because Sinatra already has his ultimate ability in Rally. It's just too valuable to give up.
Where is the next fight going to happen, though? The Shock looks like they want to try and wrap, really favoring this side of the map, so it seems like the strategy revolves around that. We have had the change. We have Zarya in the play now as well for the San Francisco Shock. No longer any McCree. The rally gets used here by Sinatra, and the grab thrown in by Sherfor. Not fully charged up on energy, though, so he isn't really doing too much damage. And in the meantime, his teammates are getting punched in the face.
A supercharger thrown down from Orisa, sometimes talked about as the bongos, do get squashed out, gives everyone extra damage when that is out on the field, forcing a primal from Roar, but he just donates 1,000 HP to the human funds.
Oh, that was close. Sinatra nearly jumped into the murder hole. He managed to get his way out just in the nick of time. All right, that would have been embarrassing, but don't worry, Sinatra. Nobody saw that. Nobody called you out on stream. Actually, I'm admiring these quick reactions.
That short course had a good Zarya so far this game. High average energy, hanging out around 60. It's just that grab presented itself even if you weren't ready for it. We see it happen to Zaryas all the time. They see a good chance for a Graviton. They don't necessarily think about the follow-up. He was unable to be his own follow-up because he had such low energy.
That's the thing with Zarya. You're always trying to get that energy, build up that damage, and now they're just going to go charging straight in. Hydration, dropping dangerously low, forced to use the rally to top himself back up again, give his teammates that extra armor. Just gonna get beefier and beefier. Choyobin right now looking for an angle though. They're just playing the site 98%, and what a shot from Big Goose. Knocks Smurf right into it, and they are gonna go for the hard reset here, San Francisco Shock. But they've done their jobs. Not overextending with the ultimates, and they're at 99%. One good fight here for the Shock.
God, it's 99. You've got a lot of ultimates to work with, and we're gonna see Smurf switch over to Winston instead of Orisa. It's much easier to engage with Winston, put pressure on them. But you've got Graviton, you've got Rally. That should be enough to keep you alive until Transcendence comes in. So in a much better economic position is the San Francisco Shock.
Exactly, they're the ones with the edge. Now it's gonna be on the Gladiators to weather it. Of course, so tough to kill targets that they can't generate ults if the fights go long enough. Architect waiting patiently though, and there's the first pick to kick things off. Choyobin gonna take Hydration out. There's the grab, point blank, no Diva to stop it. They're gonna get melted in here. San Francisco Shock doing the damage, and it's looking likely that they're going to pick up this first map, Hex.
Well, also short for got grab, I believe, and then threw it right into a defense matrix. A couple late kills coming in. Roar's just going to try to stall this out. Hydration. Tammond going to try to do the same thing. So now it's about target focus and cleanup. Gladiators aren't out of this one yet. They have the characters here to stall, and now they're getting everyone back alive and near the point.
Yeah, they're going to be stalling. Sleepy switched over to Moira. Going to get into this fight all the faster. Now it's about sticking together. Get rallied back up again. Get that AoE healing in from the Moira, but the sound barrier gets thrown out from Big Goose just to survive a little while longer. An Architect gets spooked into his own demise. No luck there for him, and so difficult to find kills on the Gladiators. Shaz with the Transcendence perfectly timed, but he gets wiped off the face of the planet by Smurf.
Smurf's going to primal, looking to knock people into walls or into the chasm in the center of the stage. Now it's the Gladiators are not on their ideal hero composition, but short for no stranger to the Tracer. Going to try to get some work done. San Francisco's one picking up kills. It's only Big Goose really doing work.
Yeah, and that's all just environmental kills. So once you manage to get into position, we do have Moth trying to do the same. Up there you go. Moth does the same. Knocks another one into the void. And we lose Shaz as well. Not going to make it back in time. San Francisco Shock withstand it in the end. They will take the lead in this series 2-1, 1-0 on maps. And so far, so good for the Shock. We're going to take a quick break before we see what happens on map 2.